Check. We'll do a quick check as I always do here. Make sure everything's going good. Give people a minute to jump in. I'm sorry I'm late. I was doing hair and makeup. Yes, and the volume is there. We are good to go. We're good to go. Hey, Hoff here. Welcome to a Hoffcast live stream, which I will probably put up on my podcast on iTunes. I don't promote enough. So I'm going to promote right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, great. Please subscribe and like on this because that really helps me out. But I really want you to maybe look at my BitChute channel and maybe look into that because that's where all my content really is. Not really here. I do a live stream every now and then. I got to mince words. It's not fun. I mean, it's still fun. We're going to have fun. But what I'm saying is it's not fun to have to mince words. You know what I'm saying? So, first and foremost, I want everyone to feel free to join into the chat tonight because that's always what makes my shows very fun. And here we got our first comment here from Gregory de Graaf. Just a hello from the Netherlands. Wow. Wow. I'm going to leave that up. Hoff Worldwide here, but thank you for watching. How's it going in the Netherlands right now, brother? Because that's crazy. I hope you're doing well. I don't know how things are going there. I don't even know how things are going here. That's why I'm here to talk about things. You know what I'm saying? But I hope you're doing well, brother, and keep me updated. I like to read a lot of comments. So yeah, if you're watching, feel free to comment. I love chatting with the the viewers here. And Gregory says, "Hey, it's 3:35 a.m. in Amsterdam." Dang, dude. I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam. That seems like a really fun place, for what I've heard. I think it's it would be a good experience. But if you live there, how does that result on your being? Because a lot of people want to go to a place that you already live in. You know, like I live in Ohio. Not a lot of people say like, "Hey, I'm going on vacation to Ohio, bro, and it's gonna be awesome." You know, I'm gonna go see the Ohio River. You know, I'm gonna see the snake burial mound, serpent mound. You know, I'm gonna go to Kings Island. That's okay. Never been to Cedar Point. I know it's a sin for someone who lives in Ohio. But 3:35 a.m. in Amsterdam. So you're 6 hours ahead of me. You're in the future. You're in the future. Wow. Tell me, what's the new iPhone like? Greg says, just come on over, but leave your guns at home. Well, I mean, I feel the same way. I feel like you should be able to bear, but yeah, don't bring them over. I agree with that. Because you don't know. There's a lot of wacky people out there who don't know how to be responsible. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm glad you're here, man. So tonight, I mean, I'm just free balling it. We're just gonna just go over whatever I feel like talking about. And I got a lot. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of material. The problem is, where do I start? And where do I start with all this? You know, it's a crazy time for us here in the world. People want one thing and other people want another thing. But there's only one group of people who want everything. And you know who I'm talking about. If you follow me at all, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about these people who own, you know, there's like 6 major companies like Disney, CBS, you know, ABC, NBC that own every other company. And that's all you get fed is that information. I laid my mic on the floor, so I got dog hair on it now. keep picking this off the whole time. Anyways, what you're getting is only certain, like everything, Hulu, Netflix, what any of those other dumb companies that are doing streaming now. First of all, Netflix was shady to begin with, because I started out from the beginning with Netflix, and you could get the discs, and then you couldn't get the discs anymore. Okay, so it limited the library down to a digital scale. So there are certain things you can't even find anymore. And this has fractured over like 48 different streaming companies now if you want to watch anything. And they've lied to you, telling you it's cheaper to pay for all this crap they're feeding you through Hulu and Netflix. They're shoving it down your throat. Cuties, you know what I'm talking about? Netflix cuties. I've not watched a single thing from Netflix since I've seen that. And this brings me to my point that I'm getting to here, where they've lulled people into this digital realm. And I didn't know I was even going to go down this road, but it's fun. I want to talk about this. It's led people down this digital realm where they can literally give or take anything they want from you, or give anything they want to you at any time, and they can alter it. And not that I give a crap or a shit, but you know, like on Disney Plus, they had the movie Splash, which I've never seen. Tom Hanks. I'll get into Tom Hanks later. Of course, I love getting into Tom Hanks, but and no homo. But what I'm saying is, physical media, they've been trying to destroy it for a long time and tell you that digital is the way to go. And honestly, like I'm a supporter of Spotify because of how cheap it is, and you basically own every album in the world. But when that can just disappear at any time. So I've been a big believer in the past year or so. I always have been, but I've reinvigorated my passion for physical media in about the past year, because I know once you have that, like such as vinyl, I have a vinyl collection right over there. It's right there's my record player, there's a vinyl, and there's my vinyl collection up and down. There's like a ton of them. A little behind the scenes Hoff action there. But I have a ton of vinyl, and I've been holding on to DVDs. I am going to give some DVDs away. Like, I don't want to watch Transformers anymore. Who does? Yeah, movies are stupid. Shia LaBeouf is outrageous. Mark Wahlberg, he owns a car dealership right down the street from me here in Columbus. They had Wahlburgers food truck there one day whenever he bought the place. And there was lines wrapped around the city waiting to go to Mark Wahlberg's burger truck. And they had people in go-karts. I'm not lying. Because I swung by. It's half a mile down the road. I was like, oh, let's see what Mark Wahlberg's got. And then I go down there, and it's literally like a parade down the street of people waiting to get free hamburgers from Mark Wahlberg, who made the greatest Transformers movies of all time. It's terrible. It's terrible. Let's Greg says Apple hates the EU mandate to have universal charger for all devices. Yeah, well, that's true. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because when we talk about universal, we also can get into currencies, where they're trying to make currency universal at this point, where cash isn't going to be a thing, and cash is barely backed up by, the dollar bill is barely backed up by silver at this point. It used to be backed up by gold. Some people buy gold, and I would kind of recommend it if you got the extra money. I don't, but I would say if you could buy some gold, do so. But really, there's not a lot of merit. They're trying to push the Bitcoin, push the cryptocurrencies, which I did get into for a little bit. I did make a profit off of it, though a small profit, not much to make much of a difference in anything. But at least I came out ahead. You know, it's better than going to the casino and losing money, I guess, if you come out ahead at all. But right now, I've been seeing, I've still kind of held on and watched the crypto market because I'm still interested in it, and it does not seem to be thriving. Though I had heard rumors that Bitcoin would hit like 200,000 by the end of the year, and I mean, unless something crazy happens, which it could in this day and age, who knows? Who knows? But the whole idea of a universal anything kind of bothers me. It really does, especially when we're talking about a universal charger. If we're talking about electrical devices, we could talk about Nikola Tesla, who wanted free energy for the entire world and allegedly created that back, like 70 years ago. And now they can't recreate it. You know why? Because there's no profit in free energy. There's no profit in free anything. And universal anything really kind of bothers me. I'm not saying universal chargers or electrical mandates wouldn't be a bad thing, but when it comes to a lot of things, it's not really that good to have, in my opinion. Greg also says, always stack your vinyl horizontal. It bends at the bottom after time. You stack them vertical, man. I've heard wrong. I've heard that's completely the wrong thing to do is to stack them horizontal because it causes them to warp because of the weight. So vertical is definitely the way to go. As long as you keep your apartment or housing in room temperature, your vinyl should be fine, but stacking them horizontal will cause them to warp over time, no doubt, because of all that pressure and weight on them. So vertical is definitely the way to go. I hate to disagree with you on this, but I'm just saying that's the truth. That's the way it is. You don't want to stack them on top of each other unless you're just joking with me. That's insane talk right there. The bottom will bend. Well, the bottom, the edge of it doesn't matter to me anyway because there's nothing there. You only need the grooves. I'm glad you're here, but maybe I'm giving you some advice right now because you definitely want to keep them vertical or they'll warp. You don't want that. Now, do you? So I kind of wanted to bring up just the fact that a lot of people who may have supported Sleepy Joe might not be really feeling their decisions right now. As much as they want to deny gas prices, they go to the pump and, you got your ass a big ass SUV and you even change the tags on the back of it. If you're watching right now, you know what I'm talking about. Certain people. But, and then you vote for someone as sleepy as Bo Jiden, then you start seeing people regretting things. And the biggest thing that I wanted to get into tonight, other than that, is the fact that, Bo Jiden and the government's, Jen Psaki said that they weren't going to have no mandates. And these things luckily haven't been implemented at this time. And thank goodness for that. I don't know if he signed that thing yet. I hope it doesn't. Or maybe at the same time, I hope he does because there's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming out. And I don't really think it's going to go over well with the working class for Bo Jiden. I don't. You see, Trump had a rally this past weekend. He gave a fantastic speech. Tons of people there. That enthusiasm is still there. people still want America. People still want things to be good and nice. People don't want this new age bullshit that they're trying to push on us, that you have to have some sort of um, mRNA, DNA altering vaccine in order to survive in this world, because you don't. A lot of people have already been scared into it. First of all, you've been scared into getting that thing because the media has told you so many people are dying from it. No, these are all just cases from anything. There's 3 to 4 more issues that have been on average related to a person who have died from coof, and then on top of that, you got the tests that are all false. You can kind of see a great example of that. I'm going to plug my own shit here because I'm on my own channel. Look at my last video with, the View hosts. That I kind of explained some things there about how they're just lying about things, and no one's safe. And that's the big narrative they want to push, is that no one is safe. You're not safe from anything. And that's not true. That's not true at all. And people are starting to wake up to this. They're starting to see that, there are alternate forms of medicine besides, what Fauci is trying to push on you. Fauci, I hate saying his name, man. It's like saying Lord Vold, I hate saying his name. It's terrible. But there are other things that you can do to protect yourself and keep yourself safe during this time. And even if you get sick, there are things way better than the stab jab that you can do in order to cure yourself, because they're only pushing one thing. They're not allowing any sort of other avenues for you to go down in terms of your health. And that's a scary thing, when no one else's opinion matters besides what this crazy guy who works for the White House, has worked for the government for 40 years, has said. I'm talking about Fauci. And at this point, it's just blowing my mind that people are just going along with it. And I'm starting to see a turn. I'm really hoping I am. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking, and I'm just more talking to people who are like-minded, but I think I'm starting to see a turn, because people are starting to see, like, I got jabbed and I was told I didn't have to wear a mask. Now I still have to wear the mask. Oh, I got jabbed. Now I have to get a second jab, and I still have to wear a mask. Oh, now I got to get a booster. Now I got to get a booster. Now I got to get 2 boosters every month. And the old ones worn off after 6 months, and now I can't procreate because my testicles dried up. This is what's happening. I know that sounds extreme. That's hyperbole, but I mean that is the case. And it's just insane that no one. I mean, I'm not talking about no one. A lot of people who just hear the first thing and they go with it. Whatever the news gives them, they hear whatever the first thing they say and they go with it. And that's caused so many issues, especially when you got, like crazy mad scientists like Fauci, which I showed in my last video. The guy is literally, this is a fact. This is not conspiracy theory. He was doing research, like hundreds of research in projects in Wuhan in China, and some of them contain where they would take dead baby scalps and put them on the backs of mice, and they would try to grow hair out of it. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Ever, unless I don't know what is the agenda there. Who knows? But if you know that's true, how can you deny the fact that this guy is not part of releasing a bioweapon on the world, and then everyone trusts his medical advice? Like, get the out of here. You gotta be kidding me. The guy is literally responsible for it, and everyone's taking his medical advice. That's insane. Are you keeping up with me? Because I mean, I just think it's the craziest thing in the world. And a lot of people just go with it because it's the first thing they hear. Oh, Fauci said 1 mask this week. He said 2 masks this week. 3 masks this week. No masks this week. 6 feet of distancing. 3 feet of distancing. Vaccine. Booster. What the hell is going on here? It's definitely not for our health and safety, because there are avenues, there are great vitamins and things that you can take that aren't any part of this, and they're trying to bury it because they only want the money. They want the taxpayer money. That's all they care about. It's a sick thing, and they want this. They want the new world order, And I know you think I may be crazy for saying that, but it's true. You can look at Australia. That lady in Australia, the health person or whatever, that crazy goblin is, that crazy, I don't know, witch. We got a lot of witches dictating the media right now, and that's for sure. A lot of witches. I'm talking about Jen's Nutsacky and that crazy woman in Australia. I'm talking about crazy mad Rachel Mad Cow. I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about them because they're women. I'm not saying that because they're women. I'm saying they're witches. A lot of these people, they're witches. And the fact that people are actually buying this shit, it's kind of depressing. Let me get to the chat. Let me talk to Greg again. I like talking to Greg. He says, "Is Sleepy Joe really a kid head sniffer?" Hey, we are censored news wise. Yeah, I know. A lot of there are compilations of it that go on for minutes and minutes. That's if the least of your concerns is that he sniffs children's hair. You got a lot more to learn, because he's way worse than that. But it is 100% true, and I can look it up. Let me bring it up right now. I'll try to screen share. I'll do Joe Biden, Stephen Harris. Since you're in the Netherlands, I'll try to get you the good old uncensored American internet, which we're getting very censored. It's becoming an issue, actually. I'm having trouble finding the porn I like anymore. For free. They're trying to monetize it finally. But yeah, let me screen share, see if I can do that. I will show you many pictures of the man. And this might get me. I don't care anymore about YouTube. I just hope enough people kind of try to find my BitChute channel, which is the links in the description below, and I'll put this on there as well as on iTunes audio wise. But here, yeah, we'll screen share some Joe Biden sniffing hair. This will be fun. So here's the first one. Okay, let's zoom in on these couple of. This is a fun topic, and it's not really fun, but you know what I mean. It's like it gives me a chance to show what's really happening. And you see this picture here on the right where he's holding this young lady's head, and he's definitely got his nose right above, and her sister, I believe that's her sister to the right. She looks terrified. Might be her mom in the pink to her right. And yeah, it's kind of terrifying. But there's one, and then here's a big one right here. This girl right here. Like, I think this girl actually came out and tried to file some complaints against the old man. Media wasn't having it. She's a little bit older now, but she was like, yeah, look how uncomfortable she looks. Dang, her eyes are looking the other way. Her mouth's in that, awkward smile. Her arms are down. And all these old rich people are just like, hey, this is what we do. And like, look at how, oh my gosh, it's kind of sad to look at. And look at this one. This I don't even think I should show that. I'm getting off that. No. I'm not even going to talk about that one. This lady's way too old for his taste, but she's there, and he's like, maybe he had a whiff of, maybe this was her daughter. they look similar. You know, maybe yeah, it's probably the truth. Maybe they just wanted to see if they smelled the same. This is a funny meme right here. Greta dumbass Thunberg. That's what happens when a family takes advantage of a child as well. You get Greta Thunberg. Yeah, there's this one here, which is more recent, where he was getting really close to this child, arm around her, and this kid obviously is not having it at all. Does she look like she's having a good time? Like she wants that guy there? Probably not. He's been known to grab a lot of faces. You know, look at this. He's actually, this isn't fun. I take back what I said. This is not fun to look at. I'm not gonna look at that anymore. That was not fun to look at by any means, but it's the truth. So yeah. He is, and there's way more to see than that. If you haven't seen the old corn pop speech, I think I can show that on here, right? I could probably show the old corn pop speech on here for you. Have you ever seen that, Greg? It's a good one. I'd love to look it up. If this gets me banned, I'll know why, because I'm being real careful tonight. Yeah, this is a classic. We'll play this little clip. This is a fun one to watch right here. So, video. Biden recounts harrowing incident with gang leader named Corn Pop.
I learned a lot. And I learned that it makes a difference. This was the diving board area, and I was one of the guards, and they weren't allowed
for you, Greg.
It was a 3-meter board. And if you fell off sideways, you landed on the darn cement over there. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, "Hey, Esther, you, off the board. This is the president of the United States. You off."
Everyone.
Well, he came off, and he said, "I'll meet you outside." My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And I said, "I'll be waiting for you."
Of a delusional
three
old
guys
man.
in straight razors. Not a joke. There's a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pools.
The only white guy.
He was the mechanic. And I said, "What am I going to do?" He said, "Come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pool filter is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, "You walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, 'You may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head.'" I said, "You kidding me?" He said, "No, if you don't come back." And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And they had, in those days, you used to remember the straight razors, you'd bang them on the curb.
Oh
get them
my
rusty,
gosh,
put them in
man,
the
this
barrel,
is so good.
Get them rusty. And I looked at him, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board. I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have called you.
When I tell you get off the board, get off the board.
I apologize, but I didn't know that apology was going to work. He said, "You apologize to me?" I said, "I apologize for that, not for throwing you out, but I apologize for what I said." He said, "Okay," closed the straight razor, and my heart began to beat again.
Oh my gosh, that's not even the best. Let's look up the roaches. Oh my gosh, what a racist. This guy, dude, like, oh. This is just sad. This is sad and funny.
Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, "Hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off." Well, he came off and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There's a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pulls. He was the mechanic.
I couldn't find the roaches part. Dang it, dude. I think they took it off the YouTubes. Yeah, they definitely took that off the YouTubes. Is it on the full segment?
How would you like free
no,
internet?
we don't need no ads. We don't need no ads.
Internet. How would you...
I'm anti-ad. I think
There's
this
so
is
much
it right
character
here.
back then, too.
This is for Greg. I want to show Greg this because I think
But they convicted him. And I felt so bad. I was sitting there, Councilwoman, and the third time saying, I'm appealing this case. And finally, he took the
Man,
table.
I'm not going to go through all this right now, I guess. But you should definitely look up that video. It's called Joe Biden Corn Pop Story Full Segment. It's right there on your screen. Definitely look that up later because that's some crazy stuff. It's the ramblings of a crazy old man. This guy's not in charge of our country. Who knows who is? It's kind of scary. Kind of scary to think about when this guy can't even put 2 sentences together. Back then, he was even more lucid. He was actually putting together a make-believe, imaginary story. Now he can't even read the teleprompter, you know. So that's what we got going on here. Greg says in the Netherlands, most obese and lung cancer patients die of COVID-19. What was COVID-18? Well, I think the 19 is the number 19 was the year that it originated in, the year that the lab released it. 2019. I believe that's what that number represents. I could be wrong. That's what I've heard. But I'm pretty sure that's the case. That is also true, though, that you cannot be in good health and get any kind of flu or disease. I mean, you cannot be in bad health and getting kind of flu or disease or cancer and expect to have a winning victory when your immune system and your body is already fighting to survive to begin with. So you got to stay healthy. And I struggle with it myself. You know, I'm not obese, but I got my own issues. A lot of things I could do better, like intake less sugar and alcohol and nicotine. You know, there's a lot of things I could do better. And I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying that that's the case sometimes. Like, there's going to be other variables that will dictate the outcome of when you get a health problem, other than just the health problem itself. You know, like, no, like, I know I've said this before. I've said it in my other videos. But if you don't know it, this is an old statistic. I think it might still be around the same number, if not less at this point. But only 6% of people who died from COOF only died from COOF. The rest of the 94% had 2 to 4 other underlying health problems, and a lot of them, were obesity or lung problems and stuff or anything like that. And that just comes to a health thing, and we can't just rely on Fauci to jab us up with Pfizer vaccines, which if you didn't know this, the CEO of the FDA left to be to work for Pfizer, and Pfizer was the first vaccine to be approved by the FDA, even though it's not technically approved, because vaccines are supposed to go through stage 3 trials, which will take years. So, I mean, what are we living in right now? How much are you going to believe? Greg says, well, at least we can buy cheap masks from China. Well, most witches here, Greg says, most witches here in the Netherlands are okay if you don't piss them off. Well, you don't know that, because witches are always scheming, bro. You don't think that witches aren't peaceful, man. They're always scheming. They're always hexing, they're always spelling. It's the whole reason they do it. They're evil, they're demons, even if they don't think they are. Even if the people who are Wiccan want to think that they're not evil, it's evil. It is evil, and it's the work of the devil, much like the occult and all the symbolism and works behind that. That's why I believe in a strong personal relationship with Christ. Speaking of gods, I got a new t-shirt today. I'm going to show it off right now. I don't know if you can see it. May block out a little bit there. This is my Abraxas the Chicken Snake God shirt from the podcast Tinfoil Hat, which is like one of my favorite podcasts, if not my favorite. So this is a limited edition shirt, and I love it. It's the ugliest shirt I own, and I love it because it's funny and it represents the absurdity of everything that's going on right now. You know. Greg also says the CIA would take care of presidents for less man. Well, I mean, I don't know. When I think the CIA used to be separate from the government, and now in the media and in the one world system, I really do. But now the CIA is definitely one and the same with the government. They're all working together, much like the military. When you got crazy people like General Milley coming out saying that they want trans people in the military and they want all this LGBTQ stuff going on. It's like, what does that matter? And you got commercials from the army coming in. You know, let's look up that commercial from the army. That's a great one. You got commercials from the army where they're like, you know, has nothing to do with joining the military. It has to do with like having lesbian parents, and it's absolutely insane. Like it is insane. It's this one. I'm gonna mute it. And there's nothing wrong with it, you know. Nothing wrong with diversity, but pushing it in this way is a different thing altogether. Where you are trying to diversify people through unity, it's like an oxymoron. That's not what we should be doing. So here, you see this. There's nothing wrong with any of this. This isn't even the one I was looking for. This one's fine, I guess. I mean, I haven't seen the rest of it, and maybe it sucks. But it's the one with the lesbians. And nothing against lesbians. I love lesbians, man. But it was the one where the whole commercial was just about like this girl was like, my lesbian mothers are strong and I'm so lucky to have them and they're part of the military. It's like, that's fine. But what does that have to do with defending our country by any means? It used to be don't ask, don't tell, you know, and you used to get kicked out if you told. And maybe that's wrong to some extent as well. But in my opinion, like, I don't think there's any room in the military for any of this kind of bullshit. I think it's business in the military. I think you need to get what needs to be done. There's a mission to be accomplished. And all this other gender and who you're having sex with kind of bullshit needs to fall by the wayside. You need to stand up for the flag in your country. That's just my opinion, though. Maybe I'm just thinking outside of the box. Cheers. Greg says more people die in traffic. That's true. I mean, by actual statistics, not the ones they're giving you online. He also says, I have an Abraxas vinyl somewhere, 70s. I don't know that band, but if there's a band called Abraxas, I'll look them up. There might be like a Rush or something. That sounds kind of cool. Man. I'll look that up. So let me get this off here. I don't want to be looking at all this crap anymore. So yeah, I saw there's a new. I'm gonna go over this briefly. There's a new Tom Hanks movie coming out. Maybe we should look at the trailer for a minute if we can find it. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm the biggest Tom Hanks fan in the world. By that I mean I hate Tom Hanks with a passion. It's called Finch. I'm gonna mute this crap, man. I'm sick of these ads. I'm gonna screen share some of this. This new Tom Hanks movie, man. And the last one, this one, he's going too far. He's going too far. He's already gone too far. I'll never watch another Tom Hanks movie the rest of my life. Fuck that guy. Now he's like he's a spaceman. He's cast away on a planet. I can't even stand the look of this guy. They're trying to use a dog, to try to make you feel more sympathetic towards Tom Hanks, which is disgusting because dogs are the most pure creatures on this planet, hands down. And if you don't know why I hate Tom Hanks, then please look up some of my old material. It's on my BitChute. There's a couple videos there, and they're very, very in depth. They're extremely in depth, and they make a lot of sense. They really do. They really do. So I guess maybe we'll just maybe look at some UFO videos or something, because I'm tired and I don't think this is going to be a long stream tonight, unless I get some more participation. That always gets me kicked up. That always does. But I stop sharing this Tom Hanks crap, dude. Before we get into some of this stuff, which I'm just going to go to Mavi777's YouTube page and look at some UFO videos, because I think that'll be fun. I just want to say that, I have a lot of content in the works, a lot of ideas. There are things that I'm really like, I'm so close to finishing. They're big videos, good things, big videos, bigly. It's gonna be good stuff that's gonna be coming out from Hoffcast before too long. I'm doing the old nervous scratch behind the neck because I'm nervous, because I don't know how they'll be received, even though I've put so much time into them. Hopefully people take into account what I'm trying to convey. If not, my email is in the description below. Feel free to email me anytime. Which, before the end of the podcast, actually, I want to do it right now. I want to thank Mitz, which I'm not going to get into it tonight, but Mitz sent me some great information about. I have to go over these files more, but it's a great PDF of the government over world control, and I just want to say that I appreciate any information that people bring me, and I do try to implement it into my content whenever I can. So keep sending to me whatever you can. I do appreciate it. Greg says Tommy H hates Ricky Gervais. Well, go figure. I don't agree with Ricky Gervais, as he's an atheist, which nothing wrong with that. I used to be an atheist. I went from Christian to atheist to agnostic back to Christian. I've gone the full circle. Luckily, I'm still alive to be able to done that, because I'm never going back the other direction ever again. But it's true that Ricky Gervais, he kind of called him out on that award show. What was it, like the Golden Globes or some bullshit? We called him out on that, and you saw Tom Hanks' face. And of course, Tom Hanks doesn't like to be called out on anything. Once again, watch my Tom Hanks videos on BitChute, description link below. They're pretty detailed and they go very in depth. I did them a long time ago, but I think the work still stands up to this day. Greg says, I would send drones to other planets if I could. Well, I mean, we've been trying to do that for a while, right? None of the images of Earth from space are actually photographs. If you didn't know that, kind of makes things a little suspicious. Yeah, that's a whole different podcast right there, a whole different live stream. But honestly, I think that's all I got for the night. I just want to do a little bit of a little talking to you, a little catching up. I'll put this on my iTunes because I'm going to have this is more of a promotion kind of thing, I guess. I'm going to have a website coming again soon. I'm going to have my iTunes podcast. I'm going to have this on occasion, but mainly I want you to check out the BitChute and whatnot, because that's where I'm going to be actually myself and not stopping every word that I say before I say it, because I got a couple strikes on this thing, but I want to keep going, so I got to really just make sure that I obey their stupid rules, but I can still find a way out somewhere else. And Greg, I won't leave you hanging. He said, I meant like the aliens do. Well, that depends. Do you think aliens are from different planets or interdimensional or spirits? Aliens could be a lot of different things. What we think they are anyway. What we perceive them as. They might not be from different planets. They might. We don't know. We don't know. And I do want to get into all that. But I am going to call it a night. So thank you, Greg, for stopping by, man. It was a good time. Please like, subscribe, share this if you're watching. I will have all my other content on other places. Once again, Greg, my email is in the description below. If you would like to email me more information, I do appreciate that, and I will include that information in further content, as I've said before. So thank you for watching. Everyone have a great night. Hoff signing off.